I spent half my adult life away from Australia. I felt liberated from the chains of this history. No longer did I meet people across this chasm of race. I was free to be seen as a human being in my own right and delight in meeting people with my guard down, freed from the suspicion and mistrust that can still tear at us here. But always I felt the pull of home, the smell of wattle and wheat that would burn my nose on a hot summer day, the feel of melting tar under my feet and the crack of frost on a winter's morning, the cool waters of the Murrumbidgee. Eventually I came back to a country fighting old battles. In the winter of 2015, we turned to face ourselves, and it happened in that place most sacred to us, the sporting field. Adam Goodes, an Indigenous footballer, one of the greatest players of his generation, was abused and retreated until he retreated himself from the field. Booed by people in their thousands. We were forced to confront the darkest parts of this country, black and white. We are all formed by it. And this wasn't about sport. This was about our shared history and our failure to reconcile it. Some sought to deny this, others to excuse it, but when thousands of voices booed Adam Goodes, my people knew that sound, and we knew where it came from. So here we are in this country, our country, tethered to each other, black and white, the sons of daughters and daughters of settlers, the more recent migrants, refugees looking for a haven, and my people with tens of thousands of years of tradition. I have to accept you. We are so few, and we have no choice. And any way you are in me as I am a part of you, you can turn away from our plight, but while you do, our anthem rings hollow, and I do not believe, I cannot believe that that is who we are. All of this story, the events and faces and memories all set against the drama of this land, our lives, pages of a history still being written, the story of a place and its people, the sins and the triumphs and how it has formed us. The great American playwright Eugene O'Neill said, "There is no present or future, there is just the past happening over again and again." For so many of my people, Aboriginal people, this is true. There is a deep, deep wound that comes from the time of dispossession, scarred by the generations of injustice and suffering that have followed. And this wound sits at the heart of the malaise that grips Indigenous Australia today. It is there in our life expectancy, 10 years shorter than other Australians. It is there in statistics that tell us we are not 3% of the population, but a quarter of our prisons. These are the things that kill, the things that drive us mad, and the things that steal our sight. How often we are told to get over it, leave it in the past, but these wounds are fresh. My family, like so many Indigenous families, is shackled to its past. We are told to let it go, but it is a living thing. It is physical, it is noses and mouths and faces. It is written on our bodies. It is there in the physical scars of people like my father. It is there in the mental scars that I too have battled to overcome. The scars you cannot so easily see. It is there in numbers that show Indigenous men between 25 and 30 are 4 times more likely to commit suicide than any other Australian. And it is close to this history when I was a baby and my grandfather held me in his arms. He himself was a child of a man born into the bloody frontier of Bathurst. That's how close it is.